Okay, so in this video I'm going to be coloring in this page with Jen Craft's watercolor markers. Whoops, might be good if I put it right here. This is by Jen Crafts, and I forget how many this is, but this is a smaller set of markers. Sometimes less colors is easier to deal with, but I'm going to show you how this works. Now I did print out this page on watercolor paper, which I'm going to link below. I'll link all of it so that you can get any part of this that you need. And besides that, as far as setup goes, I have 2 cups of water here. I don't know if you can see them. 2 cups of water, and also a napkin that I'm going to be using to dab the water, any excess water with. So the best way that I found to do this is to basically just put the color more or less where you're going to want it to go. I don't fill it in. I'll just kind of do something like this where I want it to be a little darker. This really does take some trial and error, but it's fun to do, and it doesn't take a lot of technical expertise, I guess, to figure out how to do it. But this is basically what I do, is I start with just kind of adding the color where I'm going to want to have it more or less, and just heavier in the areas that I'm going to want darker. So I have that there. I'm going to get some water on it, not too much. And then I'm going to just start spreading this around. So it will immediately turn into more of a spreadable, I guess, watercolor. And I'll add more water as I go along. But I just tried to dab it a little bit so it's not too wet, because otherwise it'll make the page, what do you call it, wrinkle a bit. So that's basically it on that. There. Okay. I'm gonna leave it a little bit imperfect because I like that watercolor look. Kind of cool. There, I like that. So I'm going to do another one here, and I'll do it a little bit closer so you can see the details. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this flower next, and for this one I'm actually going to do two-tone. So we're going to do yellow more here. And again, if you want to create dimension, you'll want to put the color in a bit heavier on the part that you want to be more saturated or darker. I'm just going to put in a few lines here so it blends better. Okay. And then for the other half, I'm going to do this pink color, which is, they call it pink ruby. Do the same thing. Again, you don't have to be perfect on where you're, like, I can just do this. I don't have to, you know, put it up right up against the line or anything. So once I add the water, I can spread it around. It's actually a little easier, but it's not right by the line. A few lines in between. You gotta be careful with the lines though, because I have had it where I do this and then the lines are visible no matter how much water I put, so just gotta be a little careful. You gotta try it, just play with it and see how it works for you. Okay, so I'm gonna actually start with the yellow side first, and then I'll just blend upward. could do it the other way around, but then I feel like you'd end up with a darker color. But just gotta play around with it. Okay, again, I'm gonna start from here and go up. It's a little bit watery. Okay. In between each of these, I am rinsing the brush off a bit, because since I'm going into the pink, I don't want to start with the pink down to the bottom. So, just something to think with. It's too wet. You don't want it to pool, so you just have to get that, like, just enough water so you can spread it around. But you definitely don't want it to, like, puddle on your page. That looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make this center part yellow too, might as well. Okay, I like that. All right, let's move on to another area. Okay, so for this flower, I'm going to also do yellow in the center, and then I'm gonna do purple on the outside. So same thing, just quickly put in the color like so. Drag it out with a few lines so you can blend it. I'm actually just gonna make that yellow too. You don't have to be perfect about where you're placing the color, just make it heavier towards the bottom. And then get the purple. Kind of wish I had more of a violet color, but that's okay. I'm going to do this. Gonna add a touch of blue, so this is a little bit more violet. There we go. Again, I'm gonna start with the yellow. Whoops. Okay, if you get puddles like this, you can dry off your brush a little bit, and then that'll you can just tap on the puddle, I guess, and that'll help soak up some of the extra water. It will pick up some of the color too, so you just have to be a little careful with it. Alright, this is a little trickier to blend, but I think we're gonna do it. We can do it. Okay, that's okay, I guess. All right, let's do the other ones. Sometimes it's best to not mess with it too much and let the watercolor sort of do its thing. Like you do just enough to get the colors wet, and then just let them naturally blend into each other. Sometimes that's a better technique. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for this. That's a little bit too wet.
Tell me that you're ready to go. I'll be here waiting. I'll be here waiting, waiting.
Okay, so I don't really like how the black part came out. I was hoping that that would add some kind of shading, but it just the dog just looks kind of dirty there. But I'm gonna see if I can kind of remedy it a little bit with just some extra brown. I'm actually not really loving this specific brown, but it's all I got, so I can't be too picky. So I normally don't like to use too much water on this particular paper because it's not the thickest, but it's fine. I think I'll be okay. Okay, I think I am done with that. Do not want to make that any more wet. Okay, so for the nose, I'm going to do a touch of blue. Do a little more in here. And a little bit of black. I don't really like to do straight black because it's just a little flat. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the color because otherwise you can't see any of the details. And to do that, I'm just sort of rinsing off my brush, drying it, and then bring it back here, moving the color around, and then just sort of picking up some of the color with this semi-dry brush. So, okay, and for the final touch here, I'm going to do a blue collar. And as a final touch, I'm going to make these little things here silver with my silver gel pen. There we go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it does have a metallic look to it. And it's not showing up well in this lighting at all. Can you see that? I don't know. Anyways. Okay, so there is the final page. There's some rough spots, I think, like there, you know, but overall, I love it. I could also add a background to it, but I'm just gonna leave it as is for now. If I were to do that, I would use the same process, just very lightly go around the edges with whatever color, probably a light blue, and then just spread it out with water. But I'm gonna leave this one as is. And there you go. There you have it. Watercolor pens on a coloring page. Again, this is watercolor paper. I don't recommend trying this on regular paper because it just does not move around the same. I tried it earlier just to make sure that my suspicions were correct, and this is the watercolor pen, and it just doesn't, it is not meant for this. As you can see, it's just not doing much as far as spreading. So definitely make sure to use watercolor paper, and I will link to that in the description of this, along with the pens I used, or the watercolor pens I used, the brushes, etc., etc. So thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, definitely subscribe. It would help me a lot. Thanks so much.